Hi everybody, this is Osprey from mychartcoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at some more of the Bitcoin sector stocks that are currently in play or are setting up. Okay, so first up, let's take a look at MARA. Okay, so this is, finally made that explosive move that we were looking for, closed up 53%. It was up in after hours trading, so you notice here it closed at 218. I believe it closed around 270 or so in Wednesday trading after hours. So it retraced back up to the highs and then some of the day. So yeah, so very sweet move. Congrats to everyone. We are all over this play. It's now above 70 on our side. You still have room to run here on Fasto because the long upper wick on Wednesday's candle lowered Fasto. So the big move that happened, we were looking for 3 key levels to break, and there was a close above all 3 levels. First, it was the November high close here, and so that broke above that early on and busted through the upper Bollinger Band, and then it was the close over here in September on the 27th. That was the next key level to break, and it broke above that intraday as well, and then it was the 200-day simple moving average at 216, and so once it got above that intraday, we were looking for a close above that level, and as you can see, it closed right at 218. So the close above it is signaling more upside potential. Did signal more upside potential, and then as you saw, it was very strong in after hours trading. That's exactly what you want to see. Now, if the share price opens below the top of this wick, below the high of day, which is what is it? 268 was the high during the trading day. If the share price closes or opens below that level, then even though it could have a gap up open, there could still be an unfilled there'd be no unfilled gaps on the chart. So that's what we're looking for now with the potential gap up on Friday. It is a potential gap on the chart, and so we're keeping an eye out for that. If it opens below that 268, then there will be no unfilled gaps to pull back to. And so the big thing is going to be turning this 200-day simple moving average into support. You want to see that line hold on a pullback. If it does close below, the candles could work back into the bands. As long as this middle Bollinger Band and 50-day simple moving average hold down here, the green line and dotted purple line at 148 and 157, this new uptrend is intact. Notice there was a PSAR bull flip. The green dots are now below the candles. There was a giant volume spike, and there were bull crosses recently on both time frames on MACD. So all signals the chart is really heating up. Since the stock's breaking out, we need to look at the next resistance levels to break. And as you can see here, this was a multiple top level. So after the pullback in June, it retraced up here to this $2 level, pulled back. It hit that level in September, pulled back again. That was tested again in the beginning of November and pulled back. And then finally, there's a close above this huge $2 resistance zone level on Wednesday. That was a huge development. So you want to see the share price now stay above $2. It's currently hitting resistance from back here in April. Notice how this was a big support zone around 240. So if it can close above 240, what we'll be looking at is a potential run up here to the 300-day simple moving average at 420. Notice that's lining up where with the candles that was the bounce back in February or back in March. And so yeah, above the 200-day simple moving average, that's going to put that 300-day simple moving average at 420 as the next big target. If you look here at the weekly chart, what we were looking for, we made this chart earlier in the day, and we wanted to see a break above 50 on RSI and Fasto, and that did happen. It's currently RSI is at 54 and Fasto's at 70. Keep in mind, this candle will not set until the closing bell on Friday. Each candle represents 1 week of trading, and so it could change. What you want to see is RSI and Fasto both close above 50 for the week. That would be a signal the chart is heating up and building strength. Also, you want to see a weekly close above the closing price here in September. That is the crucial level here at 175. If it can close above that for the week, that's going to signal more upside potential. And then the big target to the upside is this 50-week moving average at 297. So that's going to be the big level to break. If it can close above that level for the week, that would be huge. So if it tests that level on Friday and then it breaks above $3 and then pulls back, then that could signal it's going to be a big resistance zone. If it breaks above that level and closes above, that would be a sign of strength. We'd want to see that hold, and then you could be talking about the 100-week moving average all the way up here at $6. It's going to be all about breaking this 50-week moving average. If the share price fails to get up and test that level, it's at 270 in after hours trading, so it looks like it's going to be able to at least test that level on Friday, and so a close above would be bullish. Notice the big volume behind the move. This stock had the big bounce back in June, and then it turned EMAs 4 and 8 into support. Notice the crossover. Notice how the pink line crossed the line to the upside there. That was signaling the start of a possible start of a new uptrend. Middle Bollinger Band's been holding. As long as the middle Bollinger Band at 142 holds, the uptrend is intact. Okay, so look at the 15-minute chart. This is where you'll be able to tell when the stock is breaking down. We had been working on this. It heated up on the news about the when they released financials, and then there was stuff about the they bought out the Bitcoin mining company, and so the share price pulled back. And when it did, the closing price here on the 20th was the key level to break. Once the 50 the 50 simple moving average and the middle Bollinger Band broke, it was signaling that more downside risk. And what we are looking for is this 200 and 300 simple moving averages to hold. If it came down there and hit that level, we did put out alerts in the chat, so congrats to everybody that capitalized on that alert. The levels held like a champ, and then notice how they turned into support here, and then the share price broke out higher. Once the candles were back above the 50 and the 100 simple moving averages on the 15-minute chart, they were above all the moving averages, and the share price really took off running. It was this candle right here at 11:45 was the close above the closing price on the 20th, and that was the big signal that, like, okay, this is really breaking out. Notice that it was on a big volume spike, and so that was confirming that it's breaking above resistance, and then the share price really got moving. So if you missed the move down here, and then you missed the move above the moving averages, the break above the closing price was your third big alert that, like, okay, this is the load zone. So there were lots of opportunities to get into this before it exploded higher. To the downside, it did close above EMA or below EMA 4. Notice how down here it held EMA 8 and EMA 13. That's the lime and orange line. If it drops below EMA 8 here at 212, the EMA 13 is at $2. It needs to hold that. We want to see that $2 level hold and stay above $2. As long as it's above the middle Bollinger Band here at 183, it's still in play. If it drops below that, that's going to signal the chart's cooling down. It's currently trading above all the moving averages, except for EMA 4. The chart's extremely bullish. There's huge volume, and then really, it pushed up. It's way up here right now in after hours trading. So the chart is extra strong. So we'll see if it can continue. And keep in mind with MARA, they have a conference call on Monday after the market closes. That's what the press release said. So, this very well could be, in play all the way up to that time. You could see some selling before the close on Monday. So we'll just have to see how it plays out. Okay, so, it's always a risk to hold a penny stock into a conference call. Just keep that in mind. That's a golden rule. Okay, so let's look at GAHC. The stock has been setting up. It's above 50 on RSI. It's at 55. You've got Fasto at 91 back in the power zone. So this stock's been setting up, and we located the bounce on this. It came down and hit the 300-day simple moving average over here on the 10th of October. That level held. This was the big support level. It bounced off of it. It's got this. It has an uptrend that it's trying to maintain here, that it's been starting. It's currently above all the moving averages except for this gold line here. That's the 100-day simple moving average at 0.019. It's currently at 0.018. If you see a close above that level, we're looking for a close above that on Friday. If it can close above that level, then that's going to signal that it's ready to head higher, and then we'll be talking about a potential run back up here to the previous high close, which is at 3.7. It looks like it's trying to fill the jar back up to that level, like the like some of the other stocks in the sector. There was a PSAR bull flip. It needs to stay above the middle Bollinger Band, and it's got the 200, the 50, the 200, and the middle Bollinger Band are all together. The middle Bollinger Band is also the 20-day simple moving average, so it needs to stay above those levels for the chart to be strong. It's got to hold the 16 support level. Notice that the MACD both crosses are just starting on both time frames, and it's also breaking. A symmetrical triangle pattern had formed, and it's breaking out of the top of the red descending resistance line. So all signals that the chart's really heating up. This is a chart that we had posted before where we were trying to time the bounce here. It looks similar to some of the other charts in the sector where it dropped, it came up, it formed this double bottom, and then it came down, and we didn't know if it was going to keep breaking. It held the penny level. You know, the next key levels to hold were below a penny, and so we really wanted to see that level hold. It held. Notice it's got the uptrend going. So this looks like it wants to push higher. Keep an eye on this 25 to 27.5 level. That's this descending resistance level. If it can break out above that, that would be really bullish, signaling it wants to head back up to 3 cents. If you look here at the 15-minute chart, you can see the break. I see the 20th on the high close. The break was into the close on big volume. There was an inverted hammer, a shooting star here on the close with the big, this could be a little bit of dilution. There's definitely some profit taking, but it was really strong. People were loading into the close here. So we're going to see if it can keep going. So a stock that's setting up is BTCS. We showed you BTSC in the other video. There's another one called BTCS. Similar ticker symbols, different stocks. Similar chart. Look how this chart looks very similar to GAHC. Look at GAHC. Pull back. BTCS, same thing. So we've been timing the bounce. Many times what happens is the best of breed run first, and then the laggards follow. And so it looks like this one's getting ready to potentially, break out from this double bottom bounce. Came down, bottom, double bottomed. Notice all the moving averages are all converged in the same zone here. So you got basically between 9 cents, which is EMA 4, and 12 cents, which is the 100-day simple moving average. All the moving averages are between there. So if you see BTCS close above 12 cents and then turn that level into support, that's going to be your big clue that it's ready to head higher. We want to see it close above the middle Bollinger Band. That's the first level to break at 10 cents. It's setting up. There's been big volume down here. It looks like people have been loading. It came down and filled the gap, and it didn't bounce. It just came down, but it did hold the double bottom level. If it follows the other plays, it should get moving. Check out the weekly chart here. You can see where it leveled. This is the double bottom level. So you can see here it created a double bottom down here after the big drop. Down here in the what is this, the 4 to 5 cent range, and then it has an uptrend that's been happening here. It's been trying to turn the middle Bollinger Band and the 50-week simple moving average into support. That's the green line and the dotted purple line. If it can get above both levels, above this 11-12 cent level, that would be a signal that the uptrend is still healthy and intact. And then you want to see a weekly close above the second week of August. That's the big level to break. Currently right around 25 cents. If it can get above that, then the high close from back in November is going to be the big level to break. Get above that, then you're talking about a potential move back up into dollar land, because you have the 100-week moving average is only up at $1.58. And with the big volume, look at how much volume's down here. It looks like people are loading for the initial push higher. And then notice on the weekly chart, it did have the 4 red candles in a row, and then you had the doji, which formed bullish Harami cross, and then you have another pretty much doji to follow. So these are bounce candles, off of support. So keep an eye on it. And then another one to keep an eye on is MGTI. This stock, notice how it has a falling wedge type pattern. Has a descending resistance line, and it has descending support, and they're coming together, and one's going to break. Either support's going to break or resistance is going to break. So a break below the support signals downside risk. Right below are the 200 and 300 day simple moving averages. That may be the target. 140 should be a good level down here. It did come back and it filled this gap in that zone, and so that level should hold if tested. If the stock's going to bounce, that would be the bounce level if it hit it for sure, because you know, if it drops below, the chart's completely broken. It's already a nasty downtrend. You know, you already don't want to be holding the stock. You know, we're just waiting for the break above resistance or a bounce off of this key support zone. You know, if it hits 140, you know, that should be a technical bounce level. But really what has to happen is this dotted purple line here at 184. It needs to close above that level to get a new uptrend going. Once it's above the 50-day simple moving average at 220 and then above this red descending resistance line, that's going to be a signal that a new uptrend is starting. It's a break from the downtrend and a new trend has begun. You know, the volume is drying up down here. The sellers seem like they've tired. You know, it just needs a catalyst to push higher. So keep an eye on it. Look at MACD, how it's super pinched. You know, this chart's wound tight. You have the 200-day simple moving average crossing the 300-day simple moving average to the upside. So the chart is building strength. It's got, you know, even though it's been dropping like crazy, you know, it's been pulling back. If you look at the weekly chart, you can get a better picture of what's going on. You can see here it hit the highs back in 2016. It pulled back. It held support down here around 60 cents, and then it's worked its way back. It filled the jar. It came all the way back up and it filled the jar, and now it's pulling back. You know, this is a big cup. Is it forming a handle right now? Could this be a handle? If it is, then this is the neckline here at $4, and if it broke above, then that would signal it wants to head higher. Down below, it's hitting the 50 and 100-week moving averages. Notice that the 100-week moving average is here at 150, and so that is a big level to hold. So if it can hold that level at 150, that could be the bounce level. It has to get back above the middle Bollinger Band and the 300-week moving average at 207. Back above $2 signals that it wants to head higher. So yeah, keep an eye on MGTI. You know, it looks like you know, it should bounce soon if the other stocks in the sector are bouncing. So keep an eye on it. Okay, yeah, Mara was the big winner. Huge breakout. We're going to see if it can make that run up to the 300-week moving average at 420. At 420. So keep an eye, on our chat if you'd like to learn more about charts technical analysis. I'll post the link to Discord below the video. And we're talking about these cryptocurrency plays in the chat. Okay, thank you.